We have been blessed. If you're a millennial just like me or a boomer, I don't know what category I go in, I'm 29 years old. You remember the era of flash games. Miniclip, MoFun Zone, FreeOnlineGames.com, Armor Games, Congregate, Newgrounds. You come from an era where playing flash games was the biggest thing you did when you came back from school. And if you also grew up in that era, then you also know Flipline Studios. If that doesn't ring a bell, maybe this will. Papa's Pizzeria, Papa's Cookeria, Papa's Freezeria, Papa's Donuteria, Papa's Pickleria, Papa's Cookieria, Papa's, you know, all the Papa games you could think of. You probably heard of one at least. But they took every single type of food and made it a Papa game where you have your own restaurant and you run it for these weird looking people. They have just released the game on Steam. Now, no, it's not a modern game. It's not anything like that. But it's also a game from the past, a classic. Now, I love this game, so you probably already know how this review is gonna go. Jacksmith, Weapons and Heroes. I think it's called, wait, let me check. Weapons and Warriors, Weapons and Warriors. Yeah, Kai, how do you not know the game that you're talking about? Trust me, when it's longer than 2 words, I forget. Anyways, they have just dropped Jacksmith Reforged, basically remastered on Steam. I need to sell this game to you guys, most of you who didn't come from an era of flash games. You're a donkey. A donkey blacksmith. I know when I said you're a donkey, all the Shrek fans absolutely jumped on this. Now, if I haven't yet sold this game to you, it's probably because you don't know of the game, and that's exactly why we're here, Kai. Graphics of the game, 2025 Game of the Year, 100%. It's a flash game. What do you expect? It looks like this. It's amazing. If anyone says this is bad, then you're on the wrong channel. But if I was to put it on a scale of 1 to 10, it's 10 for a flash game, 100%, 5 in reference to all the other modern games, and probably 1 if you play Fortnite. Gameplay. Well, the gameplay is you're a donkey blacksmith, as I've said. You have a scout companion dog assistant. If you wasn't sold on the game, now dog lovers are also sold on the game. So you're a donkey blacksmith who crafts weapons in his little caravan for these other animal adventurers who will be adventuring that day on the trail that you are on. Now, the gameplay is split into days, so every day these adventurers will take on a path and you will craft weapons for them at the beginning of the day, and at the end of the day they will go fighting. And what weapons you craft is based on what enemies your dog assistant has scouted for the day. The game has different elemental enemies, so some enemies are fire, some enemies are water, some enemies are frost. Now, what I love about this game is it's different when it comes to elements. Every other game is how you'd expect. Fire beats grass, grass beats water, etc, etc. You know how logic goes. And if you played Pokemon, then you've seen this chart a million times. This game simplifies it so that a 5-year-old can play this game. It's amazing because I don't have to use brain cells. Fire beats fire, water beats water, grass beats grass. Revolutionary. Like, maybe Pokemon should have done this as well. I know it kind of beats logic, but I see a fire enemy, I know what to build. I don't have to look at a chart for 10 minutes. Now, each animal corresponds to a weapon, so that's simplified as well. If you see a cow, he wants a spear. If you see a pig, he wants a sword. But every weapon has more than one weapon style, and with these little boxes down below, they basically tell you how much damage they do to that elemental enemy. So you have to kind of figure out what kind of weapon you're gonna make according to the enemies you have. Now, once you start making the weapons, there are interactive mini games. In step 1, you put ore into the smeltery. Step 2, you get another interactive minigame where you mix and match loot and parts that you've got to make your weapon. Every weapon has its own minigame. Gameplay. Once you've built your weapon, you hand it over to your client and he's ready to take on the battle for the day. Once they defeat all the enemies, at the end they get a loot box which gives you more parts and blueprints. Now, blueprints are a very important aspect of the gameplay of this game. Why, Kai, do you ask? Well, I'll tell you this. Because it makes you feel satisfied with your life. No game recently has come close to this feeling. I mix and match parts, I complete a blueprint, and I get a big achievement text box at the top telling me that I've achieved something. 10 out of 10. I feel better about my life already. Now, if we were to rank the gameplay, you might think that I would say it's very good. I would have, normally, but the game is also very outdated. So this system actually starts to get repetitive over time. Would I play it for months on end? Probably, yes, but not for hours in a day. So, good. So taking that into consideration, it's more of a chill game where you just want to find something to do, you know, when you mouse over your desktop and you're like, I want to play this, but I don't at the same time. And then you just give up on life. Instead of that, you open this game, you play it for half an hour, and you're satisfied. You feel better about your life. You feel more accomplished and your dad isn't disappointed in you anymore. Audio. Now, the audio is what you'd expect from a Flash game. I'm not going to say too much on this topic. But the music's really good. It gives you the same music that you've heard in Papa's Pizzeria, Freezeria, Cookeria, Donateria, Ice Creameria. It's all the same music in the background. Or very similar at least. But you know you're playing a Flipline Studios game when you hear that music. There isn't much to say. Good. Audio is good, yes. Audience. Now this is very key. I don't know. Because in a sense, this game was made for kids when it first came out. Now it's played by people like me who grew up in that era and are millennials. So adults, I guess, older adults. I mean, anyone can play it. It's meant for kids, but it's mostly played by people who want a nostalgic rush. I don't know how you'd feel after you play this. If you've never played it before, if you've never played Flash games before, especially if you play Fortnite, you're gonna hate this game. I think. I don't know. I don't know what kids do these days. Audience, I would say adults who want to go back to the past. PC requirements. Literally plug your toaster to a potato and it will probably run this game. This game is gonna run on anything. It used to run on PCs back in the day. I don't know, Packard Bells and big screen PCs and stuff, and it was running pretty well. Now it's gonna run even better. Even if you have a toaster for a PC, like I said, plug it into a potato, it will run this game. Game size, floppy disk. It's 43 megabytes on Steam. When you click this game on your desktop, it opens up immediately. That's how low it is. It's 43 megabytes and you get all of this with that. I've never seen a game open so fast and close so fast at the same time. You literally click escape, a window pops up. Do you want to close app? Yes. Okay. Closes. You know, that's what I expect from every game, to be honest, but it kind of takes too long on some other games. This is kind of raising the bar. Difficulty. Yes. The game's not that difficult. You literally use or play mini games, and then it's very forgiving, I would say so. Even in later on, there's no like master planning of what weapons you need to do. If you make a durable weapon, they will still defeat the trail. Even if you don't do this element thing, because as a kid, I remember I didn't even know I had to do that. You will still beat most of the levels. It's a very casual game. It's not Dark Souls or Elden Ring. I would say it's easy but hard to master. If you're actually going for it, making all these blueprints and want to get the stats up, hard to master 100%, but it's a very easy game. The grind, I do not think there is a grind in this game. There is no heavy grinding. You don't have to grind for anything in this game. It's whatever drops, you just use that. So it's not a problem. I would say nothing to grind, in all honesty. There is literally nothing to grind. Some might argue otherwise, like just a bit grinding, but no. There is nothing to grind. If you don't get it, it's not the end of the world. Story. Now, I would say there is some lore. Not too much. I'm not embraced in a story. Right now, I'm just building weapons because they asked me to. I'm a donkey blacksmith on a caravan that's going on an adventure. I do believe there is like an end story to this, like a big bad guy. I haven't got there yet because the game does kind of go on. Yeah, there is, I would say, some lore, not too much. Touching on the story, the game time, I would say is long, in all honesty, if you manage to play that long. If you're playing it casually, you would be able to. I haven't yet gotten to the end. I don't know how far I am into the game, in all honesty, because it just keeps going on. You unlock more stuff as the days progress, and it just happens. You just make stuff until you're bored. I don't know if there is an actual end game. It's long enough to not know that there's an actual end game. Let's put it that way. Price. Now, the game on Steam right now, without any sales, is £4 for the UK market and $5-ish. I believe it would be $5 in the US. I don't know the US market prices, but I'm just converting in my head. So it's going to be around $5 for the US market. And for some of you in Europe, it's going to be around $2 to $3 on Steam. So £4 in the UK market, $5 in the US market, and £2 to £3 in the eastern side of Europe. You know who you are. Bugs, you know, ants and flies and stuff. Does this game have any bugs? Hell no. This game ain't got no bugs. This is a Flash game. I don't understand what kind of bugs you would expect from a Flash game. I don't remember there being bugs back in the Flash game era as well. Damn, we've actually moved back in time the more we've went forward in games. Maybe if they stop releasing broken games and then hiding behind an update wall, we might get good games. I couldn't even speak then. That's how frustrated I am. That's why you play indie games and Flash games from the past, because they would never let you down. Final verdict. Should you play this game? Yes, you should. Out of 10. If you're like me and you're a boomer / millennial, 10 out of 10. If you're someone else that doesn't fit in that category, then I would say depending on your preferences. Isn't that just everything then? It's dependent on your preferences, yes. But it's 10 out of 10 for people like me. For those who do not belong in that category, I would say it's a solid 7 out of 10. People who play Fortnite will probably give it a 1 out of 10. But yeah, 10 out of 10 from me. 100%. 10 out of 10. All day, every day. Flipline Studios, all of your games. Apart from some that made no sense. Like, I feel like at one point you guys just started looking at food and was like, oh, let's make a game out of this. Some of them didn't make any sense. But yes, Flipline Studios games are actually really good. They only have 2 other games on Steam, which is kind of sad. Flipline Studios, bring more Papa games onto Steam, please. Thank you. Oh, also don't forget to subscribe and like this channel if you want to see more reviews. If you happen to play this game after this video, let me know in the comment section down below what your thoughts were. Maybe use the Steam thing. I don't know. Just let me know. I'm actually curious to what people think about these old nostalgic games. And I'll see you next time on Reviews with Kai. I don't know. Bye.